Viviane Araujo seems to be the quintessential mixed martial arts gatekeeper. Sitting 8th in the UFC women's flyweight rankings, she has a professional record of 11 wins and 4 losses, and has gone 4-3 since making her divisional debut in 2019. Wins over former UFC bantamweight challenger Alexis Davis, Montana De La Rosa, Andrea Lee, and WMMA icon Roxanne Modafferi in that time show that Araujo is a fighter with no small amount of ability. However, her losses to former title challengers Jessica Ai and Katlyn Chookagian suggested that she was a step or two behind the true elite of the division, and this was further cemented in her most recent appearance, a unanimous decision loss to Alexa Grasso, who now goes on to challenge the perennial champion Valentina Shevchenko for the belt at UFC 285. Although MMA is a sport where numerous perceived gatekeepers have gone on to win world titles, Araujo is undoubtedly capable of doing the same thing with a few slight adjustments to her style. From a grappling background, Araujo has done an excellent job rounding out her stand-up game over the years. She is now a very competent striker with a solid jab, effective low kicks, and a clear physical threat in anything she loads up on. The feeling pervades, though, that while she is undoubtedly in possession of all the right weapons to be a good striker, she lacks a little something to set her apart on the feet. At the same time, Chookagian uses her reach well, and Grasso has crafty counterboxing that begins to tell in long exchanges. Araujo doesn't seem to have developed a real identity as a striker. She sometimes walks her opponent down well, trying to build pressure and create an opening for significant strikes, but lacks both the ring craft to consistently corral them to the cage and volume work to make the requisite holes in her opponent's defense. Equally, she shows moments of effective counter-striking, but doesn't seem to know precisely to exploit the correct opportunities while doing so. Focusing on honing her craft in one of these areas seems like a good way to make her a more consistent threat on the feet. She also needs help to implement her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu against high-level opposition. A black belt under 2-time ADCC gold medalist Leo Vieira is a big deal, and she secured submission victories in her first 4 professional wins, 3 by armbar and 1 by heel hook. However, every single one of her flyweight fights has gone to decision. Despite securing several takedowns against Grasso, she could not secure a dominant position long enough to begin working a submission threat, which is endemic to her time in the UFC. Adding more aggressive ground and pound to her game to make her opponents focus more on defending themselves than escaping would pay off in many ways, particularly as desperation often leads to mistakes. Araujo's BJJ pedigree makes her more than capable of capitalizing on any small mistake. At 36 years old, in a division with many young potential talents like Macy Barber and Miranda Maverick, and legitimate young contenders Casey O'Neill and Erin Blanchfield, this seems like Araujo's last chance at making a run at the gold. Her upcoming fight at UFC 285 against 15th-ranked Amanda Ribas appears like an excellent way to begin that previous run. Only time will tell, though, if she is capable of making the tweaks to her game that will take her from perennial gatekeeper to UFC champion.